What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Baseball Talk on Rojas Media. We are continuing going around the diamond, doing the top 5 players at each position throughout the offseason. And if you haven't caught my top 5 catchers and top 5 first basemen, they will be in the description box below. So let's get to the top 5 second basemen today. So obviously we're going to start with our honorable mentions. We're going to give you 2 honorable mentions. So, honorable mention number 1, National League Rookie of the Year. Even though I don't think he should have been Rookie of the Year. I think it should have been Trevor Rogers, but that's a whole nother conversation. Second baseman from the Cincinnati Reds, Jonathan India, in his rookie year, showed a lot of promise at the plate defensively, was one of the better second basemen last year in baseball in general. But look, he was only a rookie, and it's not like he had such a spectacular rookie year where I'm putting him in the top 5. Not yet. He, for right now, is definitely, for sure, he's in that top 7 category to me right now. Jonathan India, a good player, bright future for the Reds organization with Jonathan India. So, honorable mention number 2. We got Jay Cronenworth, who finished top 3 in Rookie of the Year voting in 2020, solidified that shortened season in 2020 with another good year in 2021. Jake Cronenworth, he can play all around the diamond, but, he showed that versatility. Look, he even pitched in the game last year, and he was kind of filthy. But strictly talking second base here, that's his prime position, but he can play around the diamond. But look, has shown power, has shown he can get on base. He has a good glove wherever he plays, but primarily second base, he's been good. But Cronenworth, man, he's creeping up there for me towards the top 5. He's getting there. Maybe within the next couple of years, he'll be there. But right now, he's my second honorable mention. So let's get to the top 5, shall we? Coming in at number 5, Kansas City Royals' own Whit Merrifield, who's been one of the more underrated players in baseball, I want to say. Look, he's kind of been inconsistent at the plate over the past couple of seasons, but he makes up for it by, look, he stole 40 bases last year and was only caught 4 times. That's kind of like absurd in the era that we're in right now in baseball, where the stolen bases, like, I don't want to say it's dead, but it's, it's slowly progressed that way in the past 10 to 15 years. So it's refreshing to see Whit Merrifield, somebody who can steal bases, good on the base paths. Is inconsistent at the plate, but he makes up with it, with his base stealing, and his glove, because he's good in the field as well. He can play the outfield, but he played a lot of games at second base last year, so I gotta put him up there as a second baseman. So Whit Merrifield comes in at number 5. So coming in at number 4, someone who's kind of burst on the scene a little bit in the last couple of years, but someone you wouldn't expect to have a whole lot of power, but does. Looks like he's 5'6", 5'7" out there. I don't know how tall he actually is. Brandon Lau, 39 home runs last year, has helped the Rays get to the playoffs and the World Series in 2020. He was a big part of why the Rays got to the World Series in 2020, obviously besides their pitching. But he's been one of the key bats in their offense. Just the power at the plate for me does it. The power enough. Look, 39 home runs last year. That does it for me, man. He's already in that top 4. So Lau, just the power alone. Look, 137 weighted runs created plus last year, 4.7 BWAR, 142 OPS plus. Those offensive numbers right there, he's in the top 4. Number 3, been one of the more consistent second basemen in baseball since he's been in the league, Ozzy Albies. So he doesn't get on base a whole lot, and we know how important on base percentage is to hitters nowadays when we're looking at stats, but he makes up for it with slugging percentage. He's got the power at the plate, and he can play good defense. He's a part of that filthy infield defense for the Atlanta Braves. Austin Riley, Dansby Swanson himself, and Freddie Freeman. So he's kind of able to do it all. He makes up for the on-base percentage with the slugging percentage and what he can do with the glove. So Ozzy Albies, from me, Number 3, just how consistent he's been since he's come in the league. He's, got one of the more fun personalities in the game and, just one of the more consistent players since he's come in the league. Number 2, look, hasn't been a second baseman most of his career, but since he went to the Toronto Blue Jays last year, Marcus Semion had to play second base last year because obviously Bo Bichette plays shortstop, and he took a chance on himself. He took a 1-year deal, and he got his money with the Texas Rangers. I think it was 7 years, $175 million. I could be getting that wrong. It's either 5 or 7 years. But Marcus Semion, he's on this list as second baseman. He'll be, because he's going to be playing for the Rangers, as Corey Seeger as a shortstop, and Semion will probably be playing second base. So he's on this list as second baseman. Look, 45 home runs last year. He's one of the leaders in defensive runs saved for second baseman last year. He has a great glove, extremely good power. I don't know if he's going to hit 45 home runs again, but after the season he had last year, plus his 2019 season where he finished top 5 in MVP voting, you got to put Semion up there, right? You got to. You have to. I mean, you have to. And if Shohei Ohtani doesn't win MVP and have the year that he had, and I kind of said this in the last video with Vladdy Jr., same thing. If Shohei Ohtani doesn't have the season that he has, he gets more MVP votes. I don't know if Semion wins it. I'd probably give it to Vladdy, but Semion moves up to second. So Marcus Semion in at number 2, and coming in at number 1. I'm surprised I'm not surprised at this point, but a year and a half ago, I probably wouldn't have seen myself doing this. But number 1, you got to give it to Jose Altuve. It's got to be Jose Altuve. Look, cheating scandal or not, I think we can all agree, especially after the season you just had, Altuve would be putting up the numbers he would be putting up anyway, regardless. Altuve is that good of a hitter. He's been done this consistently over the past 10 years. I don't think people, and it's probably because of the cheating scandal, but when talking about players over the last decade, people don't talk about Jose Altuve enough of how good of a player and consistent of a player he's been. And basically with the year Altuve had last year, I think that just solidifies him to still be, I think, the best second baseman in baseball. Look, Semion had 2 good seasons out of the last 3 years. That was enough for me to put him on number 2, but he's not getting over Altuve. Come on, man. Give me a case for why it's not Altuve. And that's not the cheating scandal. That's not. Like, whatever you think about that, look, I was heated about the whole cheating scandal, but look, there were other teams that were doing it. And, at some point, we're all going to get over it. At some point, one by one, it seems like it's a slow progression. All of us are going to get over it at some point because I think we're all realizing that these players like him, Correa, Bregman, this is a whole other conversation. But Altuve is still number 1 for me, man. So that is my top 5 list for second baseman. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what your list is. I want to hear opinions. I want to hear takes. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Next, we're going to get to shortstop. Looking forward to that. And I want to hear your takes, your opinions on the last ones. I'll have them in the description box. The catchers, the first baseman. Let me know what you think of those lists. But for right now, man, tell me what you think of this top 5 second baseman list.